Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel Echo of Life. Let's start. Let me tell you something curious about silence in the digital world. We live in a time where nearly every moment becomes public. Birthdays, meals, sunsets, jokes, heartbreaks, all polished for an audience. Yet some people choose to remain almost invisible. They scroll, they notice, they feel, but rarely share. You probably know someone like that. Maybe you are someone like that. And the question everyone quietly wonders is, why? Most assume that people who don't post are just shy or introverted. But that explanation barely scratches the surface. There's a deeper psychology behind this quietness. Something tied to identity, self-protection, and a quiet refusal to join a culture obsessed with constant visibility. For many, silence isn't emptiness. It's control. A choice about what the world doesn't get to access. Social media has slowly reshaped how we define ourselves. It rewards exposure, celebrates noise, but the ones who stay behind the curtain, they're often the ones who see the clearest. They observe without rushing to respond. They think before projecting. They analyze before forming opinions. Psychologists have noticed something interesting. People who rarely post tend to score higher in self-restraint, introspection, and emotional independence. They rely less on comparison, less on outside approval. They're not trying to broadcast who they are, they're trying to understand it. And in a world drowning in performance, that's unusual. Most posts aren't just communication, they're self-branding. Every picture, every caption silently asks, does this version of me seem acceptable? But when you stop posting, something shifts. You detach from the craving for digital applause. Moments start belonging to you again instead of to your followers. You stop thinking about how life looks and start paying attention to how it feels. This is often the hidden psychology of people who don't post. They're chasing authenticity in a landscape that often feels artificial. It's not that they dislike social media. They just can't find themselves reflected honestly within it. And sometimes their silence comes from exhaustion. At one point, they may have shared everything until it stopped feeling real. Every time they posted something joyful, they felt pressure to top it. Eventually, they weren't living, they were performing. So they faded out quietly. No announcement, just a slow withdrawal. But silence doesn't mean they're numb. It means they're protective. It means they care too much about meaning to dilute it. There's a concept psychologists call psychological ownership. The feeling that an experience truly belongs to you. Posting it can weaken that feeling. What becomes public becomes vulnerable. Judged, misunderstood, misused. People who don't post often guard their experiences like something sacred. Maybe that's not sadness. Maybe it's freedom. Because think about it. When was the last time you did something meaningful without feeling the urge to share it? That reflex to document everything isn't natural. It was conditioned by years of likes and dopamine loops that taught us to associate attention with value. Those who step outside that loop aren't disconnected. They're disciplined. Many of them have a strong internal anchor. Their worth comes from within, not from numbers on a screen. Studies even show that breaks from posting lead to higher emotional stability and life satisfaction. When your identity isn't constantly reflected through other people's reactions, it becomes solid. Whole, real. But silence isn't always serene. Sometimes it's self-protection from comparison fatigue. Watching everyone else's highlight reel can make your own life feel blurry. So some people step back, not to disappear, but to breathe. We've confused visibility with significance. We mistake being seen for being valued. But the moments that shape you most rarely end up online. They unfold quietly, privately, without witnesses. Those who don't post understand that. Privacy isn't loneliness. It's intimacy with yourself. When you stop broadcasting every thought, you start hearing your real ones again. You reconnect with the parts of you that got lost in the noise. There are doubts, of course. Moments when silence feels like invisibility. But eventually you realize your worth doesn't shrink when nobody is watching. Real confidence isn't loud. It's steady. It's the calm sense of self that doesn't need an audience. People love to joke. If you didn't post it, did it even happen? But the truth is, the things that change you most never become content. Authentic self-expression requires alignment between your inner and outer self. But social media distorts that. It turns identity into something curated. So for some, not posting is a way to stay aligned, to protect the gap between who they are and who the world expects them to be. Those who live quietly often live most fully. They notice subtleties others miss. The shift in light, the softness in someone's pause, the small moments that make up a life. Their presence isn't divided between the moment and the audience. People might call them distant or mysterious, but their silence is depth, not emptiness. It's clarity, not detachment. They don't need to be known by many, just understood by a few. Because once something becomes public, it stops being solely yours. So the next time you see someone who never posts, don't assume they're hiding. Maybe they're living more deeply than the rest of us. Maybe they've remembered what the world has forgotten, that being unseen isn't the same as being alone, and being quiet isn't the same as being empty. Sometimes the most honest expression of who you are is the part you never share. Please subscribe my channel for more updates.